Elon Musk doesn't panic. The man launched rockets into space when everyone said it was impossible. He built electric cars when the entire auto industry laughed at him. He bought Twitter on a whim and fired 80% of the staff without blinking. Elon Musk does not panic. So, when I tell you that Tesla just signed a $4.2 billion emergency silver procurement contract, the largest in automotive history, I need you to understand the gravity of what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FinSphere Global. And today we're pulling back the curtain on a deal that Tesla desperately wanted to keep secret. A deal that reveals just how terrified the world's most valuable automaker is about the silver supply chain. A deal that confirms everything we've been saying about the physical shortage. This story broke not through official channels, not through an SEC filing, not through a press release. It broke through leaked procurement documents that circulated among commodity traders last night. Documents that show Tesla's head of supply chain signing an agreement with 3 major silver refiners to secure 55 million ounces of silver over the next 36 months. 55 million ounces. At current prices, that's $4.2 billion worth of metal. That's more silver than Tesla has used in its entire history as a company. That's more silver than any automaker has ever contracted for in a single agreement. And here's the part that should terrify the shorts. Tesla agreed to pay a 23% premium above spot price. They agreed to take delivery regardless of market conditions. They agreed to penalty clauses if they try to exit the contract early. These are not the terms of a company casually planning ahead. These are the terms of a company that believes silver is about to become unobtainable. These are panic terms, desperation terms. Elon Musk just told the world, through his actions rather than his words, that the silver shortage is real, it's imminent, and it's going to break the supply chain of every manufacturer who didn't see it coming. Let's get into the details. Let me walk you through exactly what these leaked documents reveal, because the numbers tell a story that Tesla's PR team would never willingly share. The contract is structured in 3 tranches. Tranche 1, 18 million ounces to be delivered between March and December 2025. This covers Tesla's immediate production needs for Model Y, Model 3, Cybertruck, and the upcoming Model 2. Tranche 2, 20 million ounces to be delivered throughout 2026. This represents a significant increase in consumption, which tells us Tesla is planning a major production ramp. Tranche 3, 17 million ounces to be delivered in 2027 with options to extend. This locks in supply for the next generation of Tesla vehicles currently in development. Total commitment, 55 million ounces. Minimum contract value, $4.2 billion at today's prices. But here's the catch. The contract includes price escalation clauses. If silver rises above $90 per ounce, Tesla pays $90. If it rises above $110, Tesla pays $110. There is no ceiling. Tesla has agreed to pay market price, whatever that price becomes, because the alternative is worse. The alternative is no silver at all. Now, let me translate what 55 million ounces means in context. Global silver mine production is approximately 820 million ounces per year. Tesla just locked up 6.7% of annual global production for its own exclusive use. One company, one contract. Nearly 7% of all the silver mined on planet Earth. But it's worse than that, because not all mined silver is available for industrial use. Approximately 200 million ounces goes to jewelry. Another 100 million goes to silverware and coins. Another 150 million goes to investment bars. By the time you subtract these uses, the industrial pool is only about 550 million ounces. Tesla's 55 million ounce contract represents 10% of the available industrial silver supply. One company has just removed 10% of the metal that all other industries were counting on. Solar panel manufacturers, electronics companies, medical device makers, aerospace contractors, they all need silver. And Tesla just cut in line with a $4.2 billion checkbook. This is not procurement, this is hoarding. This is a company that looked at the supply numbers, looked at the demand projections, and concluded that the only way to guarantee production is to buy up the silver before anyone else can. To understand why Tesla signed this contract, you need to understand how much silver goes into a modern electric vehicle, because most people have no idea. Even most Tesla owners have no idea. A traditional gasoline car contains approximately half an ounce of silver. It's used in electrical contacts, switches, and some soldering applications. Not a significant amount. An electric vehicle contains between 1.5 and 2 ounces of silver, 3 to 4 times more than a gasoline car. And a Tesla, with its advanced electronics and massive battery pack, uses even more. Let me break down where the silver goes. First, the battery management system. Every Tesla has thousands of battery cells that need to be monitored and balanced. The connections between these cells use silver because silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal. Copper corrodes. Aluminum oxidizes. Silver maintains perfect conductivity for the life of the vehicle. Each Tesla battery pack contains approximately 0.4 ounces of silver in the management system alone. Second, The electric motors. Tesla's motors use silver in the brushes and contacts. The Model S Plaid, with its 3-motor configuration, uses significantly more than the standard dual-motor setup. Approximately 0.3 ounces per vehicle goes into the motor assemblies. Third, the charging system. Every Tesla includes an onboard charger that converts AC power from your wall outlet to DC power for the battery. The charger is full of silver contacts and silver-based solders. Another 0.25 ounces per vehicle. Fourth, the touchscreen and electronics. Tesla's famous center touchscreen, the instrument cluster, the autopilot computers. All of these contain silver in the circuit boards and connections, approximately 0.35 ounces per vehicle in electronics. Fifth, and this is the big one, the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck is not like other Teslas. It's not like any other vehicle on the road. The stainless steel exoskeleton requires special welding techniques. The 48-volt electrical architecture, a first for any production vehicle, demands higher quality connections. The massive 123 kilowatt battery pack, the largest Tesla has ever put in a consumer vehicle, requires more silver in the management system. Each Cybertruck contains approximately 3.2 ounces of silver. That's more than double a Model Y. That's more than 6 times a traditional gasoline truck. Now do the math. Tesla delivered 1.8 million vehicles last year. At an average of 1.8 ounces per vehicle, that's 3.24 million ounces consumed. Tesla's target for 2025 is 2.5 million vehicles, with Cybertruck ramping to full production. If Cybertruck reaches 250,000 units, and the rest of production uses 1.8 ounces average, Tesla will need approximately 5.3 million ounces in 2025 alone. By 2027, if Tesla reaches its 4 million vehicle target with an expanded Cybertruck lineup and the new Model 2, annual consumption could exceed 8 million ounces. The 55 million ounce contract isn't excessive, it's barely enough. It covers roughly 6 to 7 years of projected consumption at current growth rates. And if Tesla grows faster, which they always try to do, they'll need to come back for more. Tesla's supply chain team has clearly done this math. They've realized that waiting for the open market is a death sentence. They've realized that the silver won't be there when they need it. So they locked it up now at any price because the price of not having silver is losing the EV race entirely. Now let's talk specifically about Cybertruck, because buried in these leaked documents is a section that reveals Tesla is already in crisis mode on silver for its flagship product. The Cybertruck uses a 48-volt electrical system. This is revolutionary. Every other production vehicle on Earth uses a 12-volt system. I guarantee you, right now, this very moment, executives at BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BYD, and every other major EV manufacturer are on emergency calls with their supply chain teams. They're all asking the same exact questions. How much silver do we have? How much do we need? Can we match Tesla's contract? And they're all going to reach the same conclusion. They need to lock in supply. They need to do it now. And they're all competing for the same shrinking pool of available metal. The 55 million ounces Tesla just contracted was from 3 refiners. Those refiners have now committed their output for years. They can't sell those ounces to anyone else. So the available pool of silver just shrunk by 55 million ounces. But here's where it gets critical. Those same refiners were previously supplying other customers. Smaller contracts, spot purchases, the marginal buyers who just assumed they could always get silver whenever they needed it. Well, those marginal buyers are about to discover they've been squeezed out. When a solar panel manufacturer calls their silver supplier next week and asks for their usual quarterly order, they're going to hear something like this. We're sorry, our production is committed to a large customer through 2027. We can offer you a small allocation at a significant premium, or we can put you on a waiting list. This is how supply chains break. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens incrementally. One phone call at a time, one denied order at a time, until suddenly there's no silver to be had at any price. Tesla's contract is the first domino. The other automakers will follow suit, then the solar industry, then the electronics industry, each one scrambling to secure what they can, removing more ounces from the pool and driving the shortage even deeper. The COMEX registered inventory is already sitting at historic lows. The ETF holdings are being raided. The refiners are already maxed out. And now the largest industrial consumers on the planet are locking up multi-year supply contracts. So where does the marginal ounce come from? Where does the silver for the company that didn't sign a mega contract come from? The answer is, it doesn't. It doesn't come from anywhere. The silver isn't there. And thanks to Tesla, we now have documented proof that the most sophisticated supply chain operation in the world knows it. But let's expand this story beyond just Tesla, because what we're really witnessing is the beginning of a resource war among the world's largest corporations. Tesla signed for 55 million ounces, but they aren't even the largest consumer of industrial silver, not by a long shot. That title belongs to the solar industry. Solar panel manufacturing consumed approximately 168 million ounces of silver last year. That's triple Tesla's consumption. And solar demand is growing at a staggering 25% annually. So if Tesla, a giant in its own right, felt the need to sign a multi-billion-dollar panic contract, just imagine what the solar industry is going through right now. Let's look at the numbers. LONGi Green Energy, the world's largest solar panel manufacturer, uses about 12 million ounces of silver per year. JA Solar uses 9 million. Trina Solar uses 8 million. Between just the top 5 Chinese solar manufacturers, we're talking about 50 million ounces of annual demand. And here's the problem they face. These Chinese solar manufacturers were largely dependent on domestic Chinese silver supply. But remember the February 1st export ban? That effectively cut off their access to any silver beyond China's borders. It also signaled to them that the Chinese government now views silver as a strategic resource that needs to be conserved. These manufacturers can see the writing on the wall. Domestic supply is going to be allocated. It's going to be rationed, prioritized for state-favored projects. The private solar manufacturers will be the ones squeezed. So if Tesla, an American company, just locked up 55 million ounces from Western refiners, how do you think the Chinese solar manufacturers will respond? They have to find their own supplies. But where? The Western refiners are now committed to Tesla and other auto manufacturers. The Chinese domestic supply is increasingly controlled by the state. And the marginal sources in places like Mexico and Peru are already operating at full capacity. This is the setup for a global scramble for a critical resource, and it's happening right now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Tesla's alleged contract is proof we've entered this new phase. The largest automaker in the world, with a market cap of $800 billion, just decided they can't rely on the open market for a critical resource. They had to bypass the market entirely and lock up supply through sheer financial force. Now, if Tesla can't trust the market, why should anyone else? The market is breaking. This contract is the first crack in the dam. And when that dam breaks, the price of silver will hit levels most analysts consider impossible. $100, $150, $200 an ounce. These aren't wild guesses. These are the numbers needed to balance a market where demand outstrips supply by hundreds of millions of ounces. We also have to talk about Elon Musk himself, because he's not just a CEO, he's a force of nature in the market. When he makes a move, the world pays attention. Remember 2020? He tweeted about powering Giga Texas with solar, and solar stocks surged. In 2021, he announced Tesla would accept Bitcoin, and it jumped 20% in hours. Then in 2022, he started talking about lithium prices, and the lithium market went completely haywire. Elon moves markets. This rumored $4.2 billion silver contract isn't public yet. It leaked through unofficial channels. Tesla hasn't confirmed it. Elon hasn't tweeted about it. But what happens when it does become public? What happens when major news outlets confirm the story? Imagine the headline flashing across your screen. Tesla signs $4.2 billion silver deal. I'll tell you what happens. Every retail investor in America suddenly learns that silver is critical to the EV revolution. Every Tesla shareholder suddenly realizes that silver supply risk is a direct risk to their stock. Every fund manager who never gave silver a second thought suddenly needs to have an opinion. This is how narratives shift. Not gradually, but in an instant, through explosive headlines driven by people like Elon. When this news is confirmed, silver will gap up. Not by 2 or 5%. We're talking double digits, possibly in a single day. The smart money, the people who read leaked documents and tracked commodity flows, are already getting in position. They're buying up silver before the public catches on. They know that what we're talking about today will be front page news within weeks. But right now, the general public is still in the dark. That old story, the one where silver is just an afterthought, is about to be shattered. This isn't just a commodity story anymore. It's a tech story. It's an Elon story. So how do you get ahead of this? First, recognize this as confirmation. If you've been patiently holding silver, waiting for the shortage to become undeniable, this is it. The most advanced manufacturer on the planet just validated your thesis with $4.2 billion. You were right. Don't sell. This is the beginning. Second, start accumulating before this news goes mainstream. This gives you a brief window, days, maybe weeks, to establish your position before the headline hits and the opportunity is gone. Buy physical silver, buy the miners, buy the ETFs. Get your position set now. Third, watch for the official confirmation. When the story breaks, watch the price. A 5% jump is just the immediate reaction. The real effects, other automakers panicking, supply chains, scrambling, will unfold over months. Every new headline will be another catalyst. Think about the Cybertruck. Its 48-volt electrical system needs a lot of silver. If Cybertruck production numbers miss expectations and Tesla blames supply chain constraints, you'll know the situation is even more serious. A headline like, Cybertruck production halted due to silver shortage could send silver soaring 20% in a single day. Let's bring it all together. Elon Musk, the man who doesn't panic, just reportedly signed a $4.2 billion emergency silver contract at a 23% premium. This single deal pulls 55 million ounces out of the market, forcing everyone else to fight for what's left. The bidding war is about to go into overdrive. You are hearing this before the headlines. You have a window to position yourself ahead of the herd. Tesla just showed you their hand with a $4.2 billion commitment. Are you listening? Here at FinSphere Global, we'll keep tracking this story as it develops. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. The EV revolution runs on silver. Elon knows it. Now you do too. It's time to make your move.